Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Winter Workshop. My name's Eric. This is Great Wolf Forge. Today, we're grinding. Quick run through of the equipment. The ever famous, ever popular Harbor Freight 1x30 belt grinder. Hearing protection. The knife we're going to be working on. This is our drop point hunter that we did what seems like 14 years ago. It's clamped right now because I'm going to cut the end off so we can grind it properly. We're going to get rid of this disgusting tip. Put a nice drop point tip on it, and we're going to see where it goes from there. We have our eraser. This is for the belt. When it gets too dirty, you just put it up there and it cleans all the gunk out in between the grit, and you are golden. It's like a brand new belt. Next, aside from the camera stand, which is pointed beautifully at the grinder, if I do say so myself, we have our weld visor. We're not welding, obviously, but it has some sweet shades that drop down. If we were, we're just going to leave that up so we don't get shit in our eye, because that ain't fun. So we're going to put all this stuff on. I'm going to cut that end off camera, bring you back, and we'll start our shaping of this drop point hunter. But first, hit the subscribe button. It's right there. It's in the corner. Can't you see it? It's like right here. Push it. Push it now. I just gotta say, I love this grinding shield visor thing. Look at this. It's classy as hell. Get one. They're nice, cheap. Amazon. Do it. Link below. Since it's very hard to talk over the grinder while I'm grinding, I'm going to put some commentary in here of key moments and kind of let you know what's going through my head as I'm grinding this thing out. The first thing I'm trying to do is get the tip nice. It looked like straight doo-doo before, like a fish is trying to kiss you on the mouth. And we don't want a fish to kiss us on the mouth. So I want to get that tip looking like a tip. Now, would it be easier to forge this tip in? Yes. Am I able to do that with my current skill level? No. Which brings us here to my fabulous grinder. Right here, if you look down the drop point and the spine of the blade, you can see it's not as nice of a flowing curve as I want it to be. It's hard to get that on the flat platen part of the grinder that you see here, which is why I move up in a little bit to the slack belt. The slack belt portion of the grinder will let you get a little bit better curves. The only thing you want to watch for this is that it doesn't actually curve your spine, the spine of your knife down. You want to keep that flat, but I'm just trying to get the curve of the blade set in right now. Also, look at that tip. No more fish lips. How beautiful is that after, what, 2 minutes of grinding? Love it. I'm looking at the tang of the blade right here, and where I cut it, it is like very flat. Like very, very flat. The way it looks is like we have this nice beautiful blade, and then we have this awesome transition into the tang, and then bam, it stops. It's just like a block. And you're like, oh crap, that does not look good. So in my head right now, I'm thinking, how do I want to shape this so it flows a little better, and it doesn't just end? And you'll see how we handle that.
Get a little bit of trouble, okay? reckoning's here, the sound of deafening fear.
I feel kind of bad for this, okay? I'm sorry. I did a bunch of work on the contact wheel, which is the highest wheel on this grinder, and I did not realize I didn't have the camera tilted up high enough so you could see the contact wheel. What we did with that is that little finger swell that I had, we made it a little bit bigger, we made it more refined, we pulled it back a little bit into the handle area, kind of smoothed it over, but you'll see that coming up when I show you guys. I'm sorry I didn't record it. I'll be more careful next time. What I'm doing now is refining the bottom portion of the handle. I go up to the slack belt because I need that little curve that it offers in the belt itself so that I don't get a bunch of like flat edges or I don't wear out the edges of my belt. So that's why we're up in the slack belt portion of the grinder right now, working that inside curve. And you can see right here how I expanded the finger swell and kind of drew it back a little bit into the handle. I think it follows the curve of the blade a lot better that way. I think it looks really nice.
My energy is next level, so damn you better be careful. I got an angel and devil, he snaps me straight in the temple. I'm ready to be a rebel, I've got a lot of potential hidden inside of this vessel. That shit is so exponential. I need a first class ticket to the top, no limit. I don't play no gimmicks, I'ma take you to the clinic. If you want a taste, come at me and you will be replaced. They won't find a trace of you anywhere or any place.
Looking at the blade, in between grinds, in between quenches in the cold water, I don't like the back of the blade. I don't like how it goes from like a square to then some teeny rounded corners. So I'm really focusing on that right now, trying to get it more rounded off. I don't want it to be round like an oval round or a circle round. I just don't want it to be like as drastic of a stop as it is right now. What I end up doing is I put a 45-degree straight angle on the corners, on the top and the bottom of the back of the tang. And then once I've ground down some material from there, I begin to round it out. What that does is it gives me a more gradual curve from getting rid of some of that corner material. Than it would if I did this. It would be the same curve over and over and over again, just with less material on the spine and less material on the back of the tang. I personally love how this looks. Getting rid of that material and then doing the curve was the right choice. So, I was wondering, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is going really slow. Like, why aren't you moving more metal? And then I realized I don't have my ceramic belt on the grinder. I know it's a 1x30. I know it takes a long time. Blah, blah, blah. If you want to buy me a 2x72, you go right ahead. I'll take it. Message me. I'll give you my address. Ship it right to my door. I'll put it together. I'll use it. But the 60 grit ceramic from Combat Abrasives is absolutely fantastic. It moves metal like you would not believe. I had an 80 grit belt on from Amazon, and it was not doing the trick. Next time, remember, ceramic belt. Note to self, ceramic belt. I was confused, but now I'm aware. We messed up, but we still got the job done, just took a little longer. Okay, I'm gonna call that good for the rough grind. I like the shape. Let me show you. Hang on. Please hold. See, doesn't that look much better now that we got rid of that like fish lips? I really like the shape. I like this nice big finger notch right here and how it all just flows. Round it off the back. Nice thick handle still, so I can put some pretty thin scales on here and it'll still feel really nice to hold. Like, it feels really nice now. This feels really good. I might thin it down a little more actually. I don't know. Not bad. Not bad at all. So in the next video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to put our plunge grind in right about here, and we're going to work our bevels in to this blade. Now, the bevels on this are going to go all the way up to the spine. I decided that already. I've never done that before. I really want to try it out. I think it's going to look really good on this knife, just to have a solid cut for a plunge line. Then we'll put a nice handle on it. I don't know if I'm going to use like olive wood yet. We'll see. We'll see what we do with the handle. But the rough grind, I'd say, is done. I love this shape. This is, I mean, it's still got some heft to it too, right? This is pretty thick. So, which is nice. I love the weight. We're going to trim a lot of that off when we put the bevels on. And then if we do need to shed some weight in the handle, if the balance isn't that great, then we can drill some holes in here. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you did, thank you very much. Leave a like if you liked it. Leave a comment if you didn't. And we'll see you in the next video.